Nosferatu is a brand new gothic vampire epic that is directed by Robert Eggers. If you don't know who Robert Eggers is, he's the man that brought you movies like The Northman or The Witch or The Lighthouse. I mean, clearly he kind of wants to just make old medieval epics and just be left the hell alone, and I respect that. This film stars Lily Depp-Rose, and it stars Nicholas Hoult, and it stars Anya TaylorJoy. It stars Bill Scarsgard as Count Orlok, or as most people would call him, Nosferatu, or as other people would call him, Count Dracula. This film obviously takes place in the early 1800s and is a story about a mysterious gothic evil that is spreading over this town and over these people, over this woman in particular who has this connection to this mysterious evil. The evil is eventually given form and shape, and it becomes what we know as Count Orlok, aka Nosferatu. Nosferatu begins haunting the people of this town, and it begins spreading like wildfire and trying to get out of this situation, namely Nicholas Hoult and his wife in the movie, who is played by Lily Depp-Rose. Obviously, you know Robert Eggers, you know his style by now, you know what kind of movie he likes to make, and we've had tons and tons of vampire movies over the years. We've had comic book movies that focus on vampires, if you look at, you know, Blade and Morbius. This is a movie that's more made in the vein of Bram Stoker's original book and the movie, obviously, Bram Stoker's Dracula. If you're a big fan of Bram Stoker's book or the movie adaptation, I mean, this movie is definitely going to feel coded to that story. It's a vampire epic in every sense of the word. It's a long movie. It's a very, very heavy movie. I'm just saying, strap yourselves in and know what kind of movie that you're in for. This is not a typical viewing. This is not a necessarily easy, fun, accessible viewing. You got to be really locked in to appreciate a movie like this. It is dripping, absolutely dripping in atmospheric dread. The tone of this movie is so gothic. It's so dark. It's filled with terror and evil. Like every frame, every single scene. You guys remember that SpongeBob meme where he's just kind of looking down a very dark hallway? Yeah, that is this entire movie. Every single scene, and it never lets up for the entire runtime. This movie is also oozing a certain hypersexuality, so be prepared for that too. I mean, vampire movies in itself, of their nature, it's usually sensual. There's absolutely some really horny shit going on in this movie, so just to prepare you for that going in. I am being professional. The movie itself is being horny, so get mad at the movie, don't get mad at me. Not that I'm ever horny on this channel, of course. This tone and this style perfectly evokes this production design on display in this movie. This production design, this set design, it is immaculate. The sets and the locations, everything, it's stunning. Every building, every wall, every hallway, every painting, every statue, everything that you've ever thought that you would see in a haunted house ever. That's pretty much every single building and every single set in this movie. This also combines with incredible cinematography, some of the best cinematography, maybe the best cinematography of 2024. This film is so gorgeous. It's so beautiful. Like my eyes were almost watering in the theater. Granted, somebody also farted in my viewing of Nosferatu, so I'm not gonna rule that out as a possibility, but pretty sure the eyes watering is due to the camera work and the cinematography. At least I hope it is. Every single frame in this movie is just packed with overwhelming detail, otherworldly, ethereal beauty. Shots from this movie feel like they were splashed on screen on a canvas painting, ripped out of some epic graphic novel about vampires. Shot composition in this movie can lift your soul and make it start tap dancing on the ceiling. The way that Robert Eggers perfectly utilizes shadows and lighting in this movie, natural lighting, and then the shadows, the way that they just swallow the entire frame up. The way that all of these scenes are blocked to make you think that the devil himself could be reaching out from the shadows, reaching out from the corners to grab you and never let you go. Like, all combines also with impeccable editing, impeccable transitions. The camera work and the editing combines to create something where it feels like you're in a dreamlike state, just like Count Orlok be putting his victims in. Dreamlike, the way that you shift from scene to scene, the way that one scene appears to be something and then it immediately turns into something else when you go into another scene. I mean, the way that that's all cut together, incredible stuff, man. I can't say enough about the technical display that is put on for this movie. All of that is technical stuff. Like, all of that is stuff you guys have heard me talk about before. You knew that I was gonna spend a good chunk of this review talking about it. But if there is one thing that deserves to be talked about more than that, it is the performances, because all of the performances in this movie feel kind of legendary. If you're gonna make a vampire epic, if you're going to evoke Bram Stoker's Dracula, if you're gonna have a movie that fits that tone and that story, that aesthetic, you need the performances to match. If the performances fall short, then that is a huge thing that could drag down the entire movie. And luckily, Every performance in this movie feels Oscar worthy. Nicholas Hoult is so amazing in this movie. He perfectly captures the terror of the moment every single time that it's required of him. You know what to expect from him. Aaron Taylor-Johnson gets to bounce back from Craven, which we all love that for him. He's really good in this. He wasn't bad in Craven. I should stop taking shots at Craven. Bill Skarsgård is unrecognizable in this movie. The prosthetics and the design for Count Orlok is just amazing. It took me about halfway through the movie and I was just like, wait a minute, that is Bill Skarsgård, right? His voice is so like legendarily creepy. Like this might be the most evil sounding voice that you've heard in any movie in the last 5 to 10 years. Lily Depp-Rose, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I have not been a huge fan of Lily. I honestly was very disappointed when Anya TaylorJoy dropped out of this movie and they cast Lily, and I was just like, oh, okay, so we know who's the weak link in the movie already. I got cooked on that opinion in this movie because she was absolutely incredible. It was stunning. I've never seen her better. Robert Eggers usually gets really good performances out of his actors, but he brought something different out of her, like the Holy Ghost, the devil incarnate. I don't know what was going on. Kind of physical acting that she pulls off in this movie, the way that she fully commits to this role. Like, it is impossible to look at her the same way after you see this performance. It has set the bar. It has obliterated the bar for how vampire epics should go. The only real issues that I have and that other people are going to take with the movie is the pacing, because you know that it's going to be a deliberately paced movie. It's a Robert Eggers movie. There's going to be moments in the movie where things are moving a little bit slow. People are going to feel like maybe they're dragging the story out a little bit. You know what? I can kind of see it. They do take their time setting up Count Orlok, setting up these characters, and some parts of the movie are going to feel a little bit too much like setup. I think the payoff is great, but it takes a while to get there and you got to be in for that ride. There's like a point in the movie where everything kind of sits still and we kind of just wait for the plot to happen, and some people are going to check out during that time. I was transfixed by every single frame, every single moment. The score, oh my god, the score is incredible. If you love vampires and if you love gothic, dreary movies that create that atmosphere, that aesthetic, go see Nosferatu. And even if you don't, go see Nosferatu. Odds are you're gonna see something beautiful here. One of the darkest, most immaculately made movies I've ever seen in my life. Of course, it's getting my highest rating of Superman Prime. Those are my thoughts on Nosferatu. Tell me, have you seen it? What did you think about it? Give me your thoughts on the film in the comment section down below. Please like and subscribe to the Superfan Show, and if you like what you see, tell me how you feel, and stay tuned to hear more from the Man of Steel. Peace.